Oh, okay. All right. How's everyone tonight? I was given the name Matthew, but I earned the name Novaura, and you will come to learn that what we do here at Games Finished Adequately, we do for the greater good. Ours is the righteous cause! And of course, that righteous cause is Sick Kids Hospital. And thanks so much to everyone for being here. And it's an honor to be here. I'm Novaura, and I'll be playing some Final Fantasy XIV for you. I'll be showing off some of the various challenges known as trials. Normally these are done with a total of 8 people, 2 tanks, 2 healers, 4 DPS. But here in early 2016, they had a patch introduced where you could actually attempt to do these challenges with fewer than 8 people. And so I'll be attempting them solo using 2 different classes. I'll be showing off a series of 8. And some of these fights that we're going to be doing in these, what are known as trials, you're going to be surprised. If you've never seen Final Fantasy XIV before, you're going to be surprised at some of the things we'll be fighting. So, first of all, I think it's important, I would be remiss if I did not introduce you to my character Mathia. And he is going to be the character that I'll be playing as. And so, we're going to be doing 7 of the challenges will be done using the first class that I'll be using, which will be Red Mage, and the 8th and final challenge I'll be playing as Dragoon. So, without further ado, why don't you say we get started? And we're going to be taking on some of the challenges here, starting with a place called the Bowl of Embers. So, time starts when the words "Duty Commenced" appear on screen. Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, it'll happen on the words "Duty Commenced." Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, thanks, Russell. So, I'm sure a lot of you who played Final Fantasy games in the past are familiar with the various creatures in the game that are known by a whole different types of names. You've known them as Eidolons, Aeons, Espers, Guardian Forces, that sort of thing. But in this game, you can refer to them by just one word. Bad guys. And this battle in the Bowl of Embers just happens to be against the fabled fire-breathing Ifrit. So, we're going to go ahead and start beating the crap out of this guy. I'll be using my Red Mage abilities to be casting as much damage as I possibly can, while also in addition trying to build up the gauge that I have on the left of the screen. What's interesting about Red Mage is the fact that it serves 2 interesting purposes, because it is the spell sword of the game introduced in the current expansion, which is Stormblood. And it is a class that really is known as incredibly overpowered. And you will see why that is. Now, you would think we're going to attempt to destroy these infernal nails that you see on screen that Ifrit has just summoned. And under normal circumstances, that's exactly what you're supposed to do in order to survive his ultimate attack. But because we're so powerful, we don't need to worry about that. You'll see when he does his ultimate attack, we actually can survive it. And so now, hopefully we can get another quick spell off. And so, now we'll resort to using the sword, and we're going to try and get his health down as quickly as we can before he attempts to escape. Ah! He survived with 1 point. So he gets to go away, split off into those 3 versions of himself that go across the field. Can't hurt them while he's in that form, and we'll just finish him off there. Yeah, if you're able to finish him off faster than that, you can actually get closer to killing him within a minute. But he wasn't very cooperative, and we weren't able to quite get him in time. So yeah, you've seen what this game's version of Ifrit looks like. Now we're going to make a trip to the Striking Tree to fight this game's version of Ramu, best known for his abilities to control thunder and lightning. And yeah, there actually is a viable reason why all these beings that have been on your side for so many Final Fantasies are actually opposing you in this game. But if you've never played it, then you'll just have to play it for yourself to find out why. So off we go to this massive moss-covered tree trunk. And as the skies are filled with electricity, we await the arrival of Ramu. First, perhaps it's known for one characteristic in particular. Not just his staff, but his insanely massive beard. Yeah, it's so big, it's almost pretty much as big as he is tall. And so, here we go. Now, Ifrit's was relatively easy compared to what we're going to be doing here against Ramu. Ramu is actually one of the tougher challenges that we'll be doing here, because his attacks are a lot stronger. Plus, he also has this ability that he's getting off called Terror, which freezes you in place, and the only way to undo it is if you get struck by lightning, like that. So we'll keep going until we get Ramu down to a certain amount of health. Now, unlike the enemies that we ignored when we were confronting Ifrit, his infernal nails, against Ramu, we have to kill his arbiters. If we don't, we are basically screwed. And we have to get that last arbiter down. There we go. Now I'm going to save myself because Red Mage does have the ability to heal itself, even though it is officially classified as a DPS class. But yeah, that was needed or else we were done for. Now it's just us against Ramu. He will bring in more arbiters as the fight goes on, but we can just ignore them. And we can focus our sole attention on getting Ramu down, but we're going to have to deal with something else, because once we've gotten out of Terror, you'll notice that I am got an icon above my head with 2 arrows on it. I need to get rid of that by walking into 3 of these blue circles, or else I will just keep bleeding health repeatedly. And now we're just gonna use our emboldened ability to really get at him. So yeah, you see the Arbiter on the field, but we can skip him. Yeah, it's all about us and Ramu now. So no matter how many times he KLX or terrorizes me, I'll be able to pull through. And then let's just walk in and finish him off with my sword. But yeah, you saw how low my health was there at the end. And so Ramu short circuits and disappears by literally bending over backwards. Yeah, he literally bent over backwards for our success. Next up is another one of the most familiar faces, Shiva at Ak-Afa Amphitheater. But the way Shiva is brought into being is a lot different in comparison to her contemporaries. Unlike the others where they are summoned by, well, I said I wouldn't spoil too much, but here it's pretty much spoiled for us how Shiva is brought into the world. Hello there.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down.
And so, while we're suffering from a headache,
We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
and so yeah, basically this young lady has turned herself into Shiva herself, so in essence we're more or less fighting Elsa. Yeah, and she's not afraid to show off her new duds. So yeah, she basically becomes a host for Shiva. Something that you really don't see in any of the other creatures we see in this game. Alright, here we go. So we've basically got to take Elsa and melt her. And no matter where you go, she's pretty much going to follow you. I don't have to worry about any of the other special moves that she's doing on me. We'll be just fine. So now she's going to summon some ice creatures to fight for her as well. We're going to see if we can... Oh, she escaped early. Wow. So, since she's so convinced of her victory, she is now going to do a victory lap. We're just going to fight off her friends for a while. And so now we're frozen solid. And now the music goes from Gregorian chant to full-blown Gran Turismo. It's like, where is Daiki Kasho when we need him? And holy cow, I am low on health. Safety first. Yeah, because she jumped so early, like, we ended up being in a lot more danger than we should have been. And there we go. That's it for Elsa. And because this young lady's run out of gas, as it were, she turns back to normal. Who can sing Let It Go? No, he's not. Odin is in this game, but we're not gonna be fighting him. He's too strong for what I've got. So, our next destination will be to go to sea. And we're going to be taking on another familiar creature of Final Fantasy's past. So, yeah, led on this schooner that is towing a massive platform, we're going to say hello to Leviathan. There's the captain of the ship, and he's giving his orders to send his navy to do what they need to do to prepare ourselves for battle. So they're going to fire off some warning shots. And Leviathan, not taking kindly to this, will return fire. Or in this case, return water. Yeah, try and discourage us from going after him, but nope. No dice on that. And so the captain and his crew, satisfied with what they've done, let the floating platform go and leave us to deal with Leviathan. And they're not afraid to give us a send-off, too. They know what's at stake. And here comes Leviathan. Yeah, he's just that big of a sea serpent. And he can roar like one too. Alright, here we go. So first order of business is to weaken Leviathan to just enough health to get him to run away, which is below 90%. Given that we're doing this on our own, he'll always spawn right here and use his weight to knock us closer to him. We don't need to worry about that as much as what's to come. Because he's going to bring out some friends. He's going to bring out basically the Zoras of this game. But these guys aren't going to be selling us flippers at 500 rupees, nor are they going to say, here, take this sapphire in exchange for my hand in marriage. What we really need to worry about, though, is making sure, well, unfortunately it happened, is that we don't get paralysis. Because if the Sahagin here get paralysis on us, that's bad. Alright, so I did what I needed to do, but we need to get our health up, or else this is going to end badly. So here comes his ultimate attack. Now, since we ignored the yellow orbs, the gyre spumes, that means we take the full damage. Now he's going to pop up over here. And now it's just a race for us to get him down before he sends more Zoras our way. Oh, he held on by a point. But there we go. So, writhing in pain, he gets to go back underwater. Alright, next up is a creature that's not summoned, but is one, if you played previous Final Fantasies, I'm sure you will know very well at Battle on the Big Bridge. This particular opponent has featured in quite a few Final Fantasies. He's featured as in serious tones, in humorous tones, and whenever you see him, you know his music. It's the one and only Gilgamesh. And what's interesting about Gilgamesh is that, unlike many of the other opponents we're facing, he's not part of the main story. He's actually a side challenge. But this guy has a lot of sneaky tricks. And hopefully, with a little luck, we'll be able to avoid as many of them as possible, but you'll see just what he can do when we get started.
Go on, Enkidu. It's Toad. Your favorite?
Including turning into a toad for 20 seconds. So not only is he chasing me, but he's also pursued, or is followed by a green chicken. This is his substitute for Enkidu, perhaps best known as Gilgamesh's giant flying creature companion. And yeah, but that's not all that Gilgamesh is capable of. He can also shrink us. And when you're shrunk, you do a lot less damage. But I'm going to hope that when we run out of the worst of it, that we can set ourselves up for hopefully getting away. Okay,
I admit it.
so we actually got the middle route. He got off Rocket Punch, which causes me to be confused for 30 seconds.
Just too much for me.
Yeah, and of course, he's programmed to think that we're fighting against 8 people because, of course, this is a trial. But yeah, Rocket Punch is 30 seconds of confusion. We can't really do anything about that. If we didn't get him on his knees before then, we would have been stuck for 30 seconds without being able to do a thing.
This is far from the strongest of spears. I feel so betrayed.
And so now, once we get enough damage on him...
Goodness gracious. I just remembered something.
Yeah, he's going to start running away. So I'm going to get all these extra enemies to come my way, because they do need to die. There's no getting around it. Oh, one more. Alright, then we can go back to Gilgamesh for the rematch.
I must say, I quite enjoy these tussles. I feel we've gained an understanding. An understanding that I
so
will
he's
pound
shrunk
you
again.
silly.
Yeah, he really likes to shrink you in the second round. Thankfully, no more Rocket Punch. But that doesn't mean that he's still not going to be continuously trolling us. And we optimistically want our strongest moves to be available when we're at full size. And we've been turned into a toad again. Now we also have to avoid these whirlwinds too. Yeah, it's not just Gilgamesh and his Enkidu replacement, it's the whirlwinds also. And come on. I'm gonna try and get as much off as we can before he shrinks me. Yeah, we're strong enough that we can endure all of his attacks. Doesn't hurt to move when you have an opportunity, though.
I won't go down so easily.
Oh, yes, you did. So was Gilgamesh vanquished.
Well then.
Yeah, it's time for him to go.
That's enough of a beating for now.
And so he and his Enkidu make a break for it. However, yeah, as you can imagine, trying to hold on to a green chicken, not going to go over so well. And it's like, ah. Alright, so those are the enemies that you probably all know very well, and former allies. So now we're going to move on to 3 enemies that you are likely not familiar with. And one in particular that you would be thinking like, there's no way in any Final Fantasy game that I would ever be fighting that. Well, you'll see soon enough. So, next up, it's time for us to go to a place where the winds are howling at the Howling Eye. And we're going to be fighting a summon that is not as well known, but is at least beatable for me. And this young lady goes by the name of Garuda. And she has insanely high heels. But yeah. Yeah, she has to get mad first. Yeah, and she's laughing too. Yeah, she thinks she's all that in a bag of chips. Well, it won't take us long for us to change her tune and wipe the smile off her face. Because let's face it, that is a creepy smile. So first order of business is, of course, weaken her as much as possible. We're also going to have to put up her flying away. Now, if we're lucky, we'll be able to get her to skip a phase here. Depends on how much we can damage her. Yep, we got her to skip a phase. Alright, awesome. So now we need to get her down to half health. She'll introduce these razor plumes, which under normal circumstances you would have to destroy these things in order to get protect these stone pillars. Because these stone pillars are normally needed to keep you safe from things like her ultimate attack. But we don't need to worry about that here. Now it's just all about us trying to bring her down. And also trying to avoid the randomly located tornadoes that she throws at us. One more should get it done, hopefully. Nope, it's 2, but whatever, we got her. Yeah, she's angry. And we definitely wiped that smile off her face, that's for sure. Alright, 6 down, 2 to go. So next up is the enemy that you would never expect in any Final Fantasy game to be fighting. And yet in this game, you have to. We're off to Thornmarch to fight Mughals! And show of hands in the audience, who is a fan of The Nightmare Before Christmas? I hope you know the theme song because I don't know what if there was the inspiration, but The Nightmare Before Christmas certainly serves as a great theme music for this place. Yeah. All those cute Mughals who have helped you throughout all the other Final Fantasy games, they're also turning on you as well. Why indeed? Yeah. Who are they? You'll find out. So yeah. We're gonna have to fight them one at a time, but then they'll start to increase in numbers. So yeah, if you're already singing the Nightmare Before Christmas theme, you might already be trying to sing along as best you can. But there's a bit of a twist when we kill more Mughals. The more Mughals we kill, the music gets faster. So yeah, if you're still trying to sing the Nightmare Before Christmas theme, well, good luck. Alright, there goes those two. Now we have a trio. Ah, held on! Oh, gotta get these two down now. That one's gone. Oh, well, you're really hanging on. Yeah, that guy had a lot more health than he usually does. Or it just seems that way. And by this point, the music just becomes completely unsingable. But it slows down because we've taken them all out. But now they have to get back on their feet because there's one more Mughal that has to come out. So these guys get in a circle, and they're all singing Hail to the King. Yeah, that's right. This game has a Mughal king who comes to it with some fancy light shows. Say hello to Moggle the 12th. He doesn't like that we're beating up his subjects, but we're gonna have to beat them up again because we are required to in order to survive the king's ultimate attack. Because if we don't get at least 4 of these Mughals killed, he will get off his ultimate attack at his most powerful form. Because yeah, now the music does have a lyrics in the background and singers singing along. Yeah, I got hit with an ability that I was stunned and could not get out of, but it had to be taken out. Alright, so now that we've killed at least 4, we can now focus all of our attention on His Majesty. So he gets off his ultimate attack again. And there he goes. The king is dethroned. And his subjects, having gotten back up on their feet, as it were, weep in sorrow at their disappointing and bitter defeats. And so they all fly away. Alright, time now for our final trial here in this showcase. So we are heading off now to the Steps of Faith. this place has perhaps the most notorious reputation of any challenge in this game. The main reason is because when it was first introduced, it was so hard that when people cleared it the first time, they simply refused to help anyone else. And it created such an hourglass effect that it created the real danger that when the expansion that came after this battle followed, there was a real danger of a lot of people still not being able to get in, while very few actually were. So this is what we're facing. We have to face this gigantic dragon known as Vishap. And you're wondering, just how big is he? So big he can't even fit on the screen. That's how big he is. So here we go. Final challenge here in this run. We're going to have to try and take out this big guy. He'll be constantly moving towards his eventual destination, which is the end of the what's known as the Arc of the Worthy here. And he comes with friends. Many, many friends. And so we have to be continuously chasing. And not only that, Vishap has his own little tricks, including being able to stun us, which will freeze us in place for a few seconds. Alright, so now on to hit these guys with my group attack. That wipes them all out in one round. And you're probably wondering, what is he attacking? He's actually attacking a series of cannons that are required under normal circumstances to be used as a way to help out to inflict more damage. But that's not all you have at your disposal. You also have a catapults, you have snares. You just have a whole wide variety of abilities. Also, I've been silenced. Primarily because I'm the only player out on the field. Yeah, we're definitely getting some good damage out of this. Oh, want to be careful. I don't want to get crushed underneath his foot. If he does step on you, that is some pretty good damage. Alright, so I'll use my combination again. Also, you may have noticed as well, there are a series of NPCs who are also trying to help, but they're more or less cannon fodder. They die very easily. Alright, tries to stun us again, but he's done it so many times we resisted it. Alright, so now he's going to try and break through a force field, of which there are 3. But we've almost got him here. Alright, so hopefully we have enough to kill him with my sword, and if not, we have other ways to do it. Alright, so time is when we come out of the cutscene and leave the challenge. Also, there's a reason why I like this particular character. Keep your eye on the ears. Ear flicker! That is amazingly adorable, and I love it. And that is time. Alright, so, yeah, since I was well below my estimate, I'm going to do a special additional challenge for you guys. Well, so I'm actually going to need your help for this one, if you'll stand beside me. Because, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually do the challenge again, but I'm going to do it as a Dragoon this time. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this challenge again, but I'm going to do it without looking at the screen. I'm going to attempt to do a blindfolded run, as it were. The closest I've ever gotten Vishap down is 14%, so I'm going to unbutton my shirt here. Don't worry, I have a shirt on underneath. Alright. So basically, the only way you, the only reason I need you is to tap on my shoulder if I die.
Okay.
So if I'm dead, you'll know it. But if I somehow pull this off, by the way, my best score on this, as far as getting him down before dying, is 14%. If I pull this off, I want this crowd to get loud.
Let's go.
I may need to take off my... Yeah. Not only that, I may need to just take off my jersey completely. Nope, there we go. Alright, so first of all, I'm going to turn the challenge on, because I want to get the timing right here.
Hey, happy birthday. It's actually next week. I know, but you're celebrating it today.
Alright, so I'm going to wait for the timing cue.
Alright, ready?
So I need to let a full loop of the music go through before I start attempting. I know the timing cue, so I'll be able to move when ready. But yeah, Russell, your only role is to tap me on the shoulder if I die.
Yep, ready.
So it's after this particular piece of the score. Let's see how I do. Uh-oh. Come on, Bishop, where are you? Okay, I've caught up to him. Oh. Crap. I can't honestly tell if I'm in front of him or behind him. Vera Shop, where are you? Crap, I may be lost. Where are you? Oh wow, he's a lot farther behind than I'm a lot farther behind than I thought. Okay, still behind him. At least I think I am. Come on, Bishop, where are you? Alright, behind him or am I ahead of him? Behind. Okay, still behind him. Come on, Bishop, where are you? Ahead or behind? Must be behind. There you are. Okay, still there. There you are. Dead. 15%. Ah. Well, let's just go ahead and finish him off because the battle is still not done. Yeah, in fact, we can't even leave until the fight's over. Well, that's a lot of enemies I left behind. I don't want to target the corpse. I want to target Bishop. Well, at least I was close to my PB. Yeah, one day I will get there. One day I will take down Bishop while not looking at the screen, but...
It was so close, though. It was really close.
It was.
But thank you for running Final Fantasy 14 for us.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thanks so
it. We're going to go to Super Metroid now, but if you want to say some parting words, feel free to
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to come join us and play this game, we do have a server... Or we do have a guild, aka free company based on the Exodus server called Tales of Eorzea, E-O-R-Z-E-A. We'd love to have you with us. We also stream this game regularly on Twitch and YouTube, so feel free to come join us. We'd love to have you part of the audience, come and see more of this game, what it's all about. And most importantly, two things. The last part of the current expansion story comes out this Tuesday. So if you want to see how it all ends, come watch us, and then come join us in July when the brand new expansion comes out, which will be Shadowbringers. So thanks everyone for watching. And as